Watermelon. She sells down the seashore. Okay. Here we go.
Okay, 3, 2, 1.
And here's the news you need. January 25th is the last day for members to turn in applications. So if you are having any trouble, though, with getting notifications on interviews or anything involving interviews at all, make sure you contact Eli Jonerson. That's E. Jonerson at apu.edu.
And then we also have Meet Your Team Night coming up on February 8th from 5 to 7 p.m. Make sure that all of your team members are there. That's the time when your team will first meet. You can do introductions. We're also going to talk about how to write support letters, which is going to be important because they have to have their support letters finished by the next weekend, February 15th to the 17th, which is our training retreat. Again, all of the letters have to be done by that weekend so we can review them. Also, as leaders, if you haven't yet, come to the office and pick up your cultural packet because you will all be teaching a cultural lesson to your team about the country that your team is going to.
Thanks, Dave. On the February 19th, the week after the training retreat, we have a leaders meeting. And what we need, though, is on this email that you've just received, there's a little survey that we need you to fill out. It'll take maximum of 30 seconds. There's about 4 different times that you can select for times that you're available. If you could fill out those times so that we can see when leaders are most available, then we can hold meetings at that time. So for the week after the training retreat, there's not a set time yet because we're waiting to hear response and feedback from you. Also, on a last note, driving for the retreat. Make sure that you guys are starting to think about who can drive up the mountain. When you actually meet your teams also, maybe some team members will have cars, and then you guys will be transporting yourselves up to the place. And you will be compensated for gas. You won't be compensated for gas. Gotcha! Got him. And
Sucks.
but make sure you guys figure that out, get it going, and and you may just be prepared if it snows. You will have to buy chains, but we'll let you know more about that.
And you will not be compensated for those either.
Nope. And that's the news you need.
Team meetings!
All right. So what you need to know about team meetings is really what the purpose is. There's many different purposes for them, but I think one of the main important reasons is one, for logistics. There's things that really you need to convey with your team. The meetings will typically last about 2 hours long. You may think, gosh, how do you have a 2-hour meeting? But trust me, you need all of the 2 hours.
Yeah.
And inside those meetings, there's going to be time, however you want to structure it. But usually there's like devotion. Somebody will give their testimony. You're going to cover maybe like a historical topic on your country, food, currency, different risks, different things like that. And then you'll also cover logistical things like passports need to be in, or covering airfare, figuring out what a packing list looks like. What are you guys going to bring? Are you guys all going to bring a camera? Just one person bring a camera, laptop, nothing at all? How much you need to pack, all those kinds of things. But also a big piece of all of these meetings is discipleship and really focusing on your team and that aspect of it.
Well, that's right, Sean. Discipleship is a big part of team meetings. And so I'm just going to talk a little bit about what that looks like. It's a twofold process of not only talking about it, but also living it out from your perspective. So discipleship is a big part because these are spiritual trips that you're going on. You will be encountering spiritual things as well as affecting people both physically and spiritually. Mm-hmm. So your team needs to be on a level that they're prepared to do that. And obviously you as leaders also need to. And your team will look to you not only for the logistical side of your trip, but also for the spiritual side of it. So that can look like a lot of different things. Different teams do different things. Some teams do worship in every meeting. Some teams just pray together or talk about their testimonies together. And those are all great things, and I would encourage some or all of them in your own meetings. But it's up to you and your co-leader what that will actually look like. But definitely that needs to be a big part of your trip, and so it also needs to be a big part of your meetings.
And it's good to note that that will look differently based upon each team, based upon the ministry that you're going to, and then based upon your team members. Some team members really need to have 30 minutes of worship every time before they even start anything else. Some like to just the logistics. They need to get logistics out of the way because that's all they think about. So you need to have logistics in the beginning of the meeting. Really, you just need to kind of figure out what your team. Maybe your team really just needs to break the ice a little more, and you just need to play a game for 30 minutes, just so your team can be more comfortable with each other. Those are the things that you as leaders will begin to assess and see in your team, and be able to realize what your team's needs are. That's it.